So everyone, how are you all doing? It's Wayne from Undone. I'm going to talk to you or give you an introduction to the Hedson IRT infrared curing lamp. A couple of key features about it, why I like it and why it could be a benefit to your business. So first of all, let's take you through the lamp, so the power that's required to run it and some of the key features of this lamp. So probably like a lot of you out there, I don't have three-phase in my workshop. So I needed something that could run off a single phase power unit. And that's what they've come up with. So it's 240 volt, 220, 240 volt. It actually works off a 32 amp commando socket. It comes with a long power lead on it, but what I've actually bought is an extension as well. So it just allows me to get it further around the workshop. So that's your power source. Let's talk about the front of the light unit. You have 4 infrared bulbs. 2 are 2 kilowatt and 2 are 1 kilowatt. This helps with regulating the temperature on the panel. The reflectors are gold plated, which provides a better reflection of the heat onto the area that you want to be cured rather than warming up the area around it. It also has a distance tester, so you can set it to the distance away from the panel that you want to cure. This and the temperature gauge in here will help the unit itself, and we'll go to the back of the system in a moment. It helps the unit work out how hot it's getting, how well it's curing the panel, and what temperature it's curing it at. A couple of the key features about this unit, and I've written them down because there's 4 of them and I want to get it absolutely right. So this unit works on shortwave. What does that mean? So you've got, when you're working with infrared, you've got long wave and shortwave. Now shortwave, which is this unit, is the ideal unit to have, because when you're going to cure something like a filler or a putty, you want it to be curing from the inside out, not the outside in. Because if it starts curing your filler or your clear coat or anything like that from the outside, so the part closest to you, you're going to trap the solvents that you're trying to release from that curing process, in that curing process. So a shortwave will actually cure it from the metal, so your panel or plastic, out towards you. And this helps with reducing anything like sink back, any reactions that because you haven't cured it properly, any gloss drop with your clear coat. So if you're looking at infrared lamps, you want to be looking at a shortwave, and this does it. Another key feature of this is it radiates heat, which I've touched on briefly already. So it's heating only the panel or the area that you're repairing rather than the surrounding area or the warming the air around it. That will help in efficiency as well and save you costs on energy. A uniform surface temperature, because of the way it's designed, and we'll show you that in a moment, when it's on the panel, it's giving you a uniform curing. So you're not going to get somewhere that's not getting cured at the same time or same speed as another area. It's got a large curing area itself, and obviously the further away you bring that away from the panel, the larger the curing area. But you don't want to have it too far away. So work within the parameters. Less radiation outside of the area, so you're not losing energy, wasting energy outside of the curing area. It's focusing on what you want to cure. So that covers the front of the system. A little bit about it. It can be tilted, it can go up and down, so it's very, very flexible with regards to that. So let's go now to the back of the machine, which is where all the intelligence is really. Sorry, one more thing whilst we're on the front. So I said to you it tilts. What it also does on the back is you can actually swing the arm round. So that is another feature. I knew there was something else, and it wasn't until I went around the back to show you the back that I remember this. So yeah, so you can tilt it. There is another pole that it comes on, so you can actually make it a high unit, so you can actually put it down onto a bonnet if you wanted to, or a roof. But I work at this height. This height really suits my sort of work environment. So now on the back of the machine, where the brains of the actual unit is, you've got a main power socket which you can't see in this clip. That switches it on. This powers up the unit, just does its sort of pre-programming. You have a selection. You've got 15 different programs to choose on from here. So let me just take you through. So you've got putty curing. If you go up, you've got filler bright, filler dark, WATERBASE. So when it's saying filler, that's your primers. So you've got dark primer, light primer. You've got WATERBASE. Yeah, this unit can cure WATERBASE, and we'll show you that shortly when I use the lamp. And what it does is, because it fluctuates with the lamp, do you know what, let's come back to that. I'll talk to you about that in a moment. So let's just go through all the programs. So you've got WATERBASE, you've got base coat, so solvent base coat, top coat, clear coat, plastic filler. So if you're now working on plastic bumpers or plastic parts, wings, you've then got plastic top coat and plastic clear coat. You get a final boost if you need it. You've got, like I said, it's got 15 programs, so you've got 3 free programs to be able to put in whatever you want. And you've got a soft cure. So it's a really intelligent program. So what we'll do is, if we move this round now, I'll put it on this bumper here. I'm going to demonstrate the WATERBASE curing feature for you. So it's number 4 on the program. What you do is you press this button, the power button. It's telling me there's a distance, the unit is 40 centimeters away, and the actual panel temperature is 16 degrees. So if I spin you and take you around to the front, you can see the little LED which is measuring the temperature, and the distance unit is testing how far the lamp is away from the bumper. Press the start button and it will start curing. So you've got 2 settings here. You've got the countdown clock at the top, and then you've got a second feature. Now the second feature is for more solvent-based products or filler where you want a full cure time. It's going to pulsate. The reason for the lamp pulsating and not coming on like a standard infrared lamp is because when you're curing products, solvent, and especially water-based, you don't want to warm the panel up immediately. You want to warm it up gradually. And by doing this, you are helping to release all the solvents, all the water base, and you're not actually trapping anything in there. And so that's why this unit warms up the way it does. And there's no particular formation to it. You can see some of the 2 kilowatt lights on the side might stay on slightly longer than the 1 kilowatt. And it's just reading. It's such a smart unit. It takes the guesswork out for you. You can see how it's counting out. You can see how the panel temperature has now increased to 30 degrees. This will go up to 60 degrees and it will plateau out at 60 degrees, and it will continue to warm up the panel until it reaches 0, until it's counted down to 0, and then it automatically switches off. Just an update on the water-based curing system. So we're now at 2 minutes 30 at 1 and counting down. The panel temperature is at 53. And again, you can see it's still pulsating. So it still doesn't have to be on full, because it is just nicely warming up this panel, making sure that if I painted, all right, it's not been painted, this is just a test panel, but if this had been water-based, it's just making sure that all that water is evaporating and we're getting a full through cure. Now I'm going to demo the next one of the other settings, which is the clear coat. So you can see how the intensity increases really quickly. So if we started off, it's going to tell me the distance again is 41 centimeters. We know that because that's where we set it before. The current temperature on the panel is 33 degrees. I've tried to cool it down a bit for the process of this test. So if you start that, and we come across, you can see the pulsating is not as much as with the water base. Now that I said that, it's just switched off, but it'll increase, trust me. And the heat that's going to be coming out of here is going to be a high intensity. It's also going to climb up a lot quicker on the actual temperature gauge. You've got 2 settings, which is different to the water base. So you've got a countdown on the top, which is your flash off, and then you've got a full cure below, which you can see is a lot different. And so what the flash off is doing is it's warming it up very slowly, it's getting up to the ideal temperature, and then it'll kick into the full cure, which will keep it at that constant temperature for the 8 minutes that it requires to fully cure. And you can see now what I mean. It's such a clever system, the way it can read the temperature, the distance, and it knows how to warm everything up. And the lights are not all coming on at the same time. The curing systems, you can see the 2 more powerful ones might come on first, and then the top ones, or the top ones will come on first, or they'll all come on at the same time.
So it's very, very smart. So that's not all that this control panel does. You can actually delve into the features of it a lot more. So we're at 60 degrees centigrade now, and there's 1 minute 34 left on the flash off. But if you press this button, the view, it takes you more into it. So it can shows you where we are on the scale, gives you the temperature, it gives you the time remaining. So we've got 9 minutes 23 left. And what's going to happen is we're at 60 degrees now. It's going to reach this point and it's going to intensify that temperature right up to this bar and then plateau it off for that final cure. You can also go down, again by clicking the cure, you can say the target temperature at the moment is 60 degrees on this flash off, and we're actually at 60 degrees. You've got the power consumption that you've used in percentage and then in kilowatts. You've also got then a breakdown of how it's going along the cycle, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and how much power these you're actually using. If you press the cancel button, it just takes you back. And what I want to do is show you in a moment, when we start to climb up to the full cure, what that feature does. So in a moment, we'll see that go up. So here we go. We've got 8 minutes, 13 seconds left. Well, just over 8 minutes, but it's counting down. And we're almost at that steep climb where the intensity of the heat is going to increase. And that you should be able to see shortly. There we go. We're now into it. And so now the light is going to flash more. It's going to stay on a lot more constantly. And you can just see it in the background there. Actually, I might be able to switch the light off here. There we go, that helps. That just shows you now in the background the actual unit warming up. So we're climbing now. We're at 67 degrees and it's going up. The curing is now in its full cure cycle. And you can see we've gone up. We've got 6 minutes of the full cycle left, under 6 minutes. And it's now going to cure for that length of time at between 79 and 81 degrees. And it's going to just keep adjusting as it needs to. We go into the view menu, we can see how much power we've used, 0.056 kilowatts, the actual temperature, the target temperature, and then again it gives you the breakdown of all the power we've used for the minutes that we've actually been using it. So this is a really good way of keeping control of the power consumption within your workshop. If you press cancel, you just come back up. So that's it. So that's, if you want to stop it, there's a stop button here, and then we're back to the main menu. Another little feature about this unit, because of the heat that's generated from the front of it, it actually has in the back a filter, which is changeable, and a fan in there. So it's drawing in air, keeping the front of the unit and the electrics inside nice and cool. So my overall impressions of the unit. When I first got it, I thought, wow, that's really big and too intelligent for my workshop. But since I've been using it and I understand the benefits of it and how the features work, I would honestly be lost without it, because it's allowed me to do jobs in my workshop that I would probably not have taken on before. It's allowed me to cure my water base, and especially in my workshop where it's really cold and I don't have a fancy spray booth. The ability for this to cure the water base like it does and as thoroughly as it does has been a big bonus for me. I air dry a lot of my clears, but if I needed to speed it up and do it within, some of the clears that I use will cure in 5-10 minutes maximum, I could use that if I needed to. So it's not, what it allows me to do is to be able to offer more. And by being able to offer more, that will eventually increase in the turnover of my business. So yeah, I really like it. I'm still coming to terms with some of the features on there and understanding them, but it's definitely a very smart system. And if you want something a little bit more than just your standard infrared unit, I mean, it's not really suitable for mobile guys, it's a bit too big, it's probably better for a workshop. Definitely something worth looking into. I believe they have just started to make this. This was one of the first ones they've made with this setup. So, but I understand it's now in production. So contact Hudson IRT. The links are below. They're on Instagram. They're all over social media. If you have any questions, give them a shout. Thank you, and I hope you found this useful. As always, if you've got any questions, put them down below, and if I can answer them for you, I happily will. Give me a follow, share this with friends, and thanks very much. Bye.